First and foremost, before I get started with my lesson, as always, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakal Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations and blessings to the Akim that do this work in truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this video will be edifying and to the point. All right, and basically I want to get into a few quotes, all right, that Donald Trump, DJ Trump, all right, that had said, all right, one of them being he was going into and saying how there's two N-words, all right, that people don't like to hear. All right, the first one being racial, all right, which we all know, all right, the N-word that he's speaking about. And the second one is pertaining to war, all right, which is speaking about the nukes, all right, or nuclear war, all right. And he also went into boasting, all right, the proud as he is, all right, and as the scriptures say as well, all right, that, you know, basically America, all right, they are a proud nation, all right. They look at all these other nations, all right, as nothing. You know, they basically, you know, belittle them. And he went on to speak about how their, you know, their Navy, all right, and their submarines, all right, are 5 years ahead of Russia, all right. And he was speaking about China as well, being, I believe, a few years behind as well on that, leading in to number 3 in the rankings, supposedly. But ironically, a few years ago, not to be too long-winded, but I'm gonna get to the point. Ironically, a few years ago, you know, they did a drill, you know, they did a missile defense drill in case, you know, an incoming missile would come into America, and they did an exercise, and I believe 2 or 3 or more missiles got through, or would have gotten through in that exercise. So, you know, these people, the pride of these people, all right, and the pride of these of the president, because like the scriptures say, all right, basically how the king is, that's basically the mentality and the mind of the people as well, all right, because what they're supposed to swear him in, or, you know, vote him in, you know. So the minds of the people are the same as this guy, all right. And you know, they're proud, all right, and they don't think that they can fall. He don't think he can fall. And, you know, they basically think they have control over the situation, all right. In actuality, you know, World War III is definitely going to happen, all right. This place is definitely going to get hit with nukes. And, you know, these people have got this false sense of reality that this can't happen here in the States, all right, this can't happen here in America. America is too great, all right, to be touched by nukes. But according to the scriptures, that is not so, all right. And he also went into, you know, another quote, which he said that if we're smart, all right, if we're smart about it, there will be no World War III. There never will be. All right. And Elder Tahar, he kind of touched in on the topic of this. All right. Speaking about how that's just wishful thinking. All right. Of, you know, Trump to believe that there isn't going to be a World War III. But actuality, in the back of their mind, they know that there will be, or what if situation. All right. But these super elites, all right, the ones, these international bankers, these Rothschilds, they know, You know, they know the scriptures. They believe the scriptures, in which why, you know, they have these underground bunkers, man. A lot of these rich, so-called rich, famous people, all right, the title they were given into the world, they have these bunkers, all right, to protect them when all hell goes loose. When all hell breaks loose, all right, they've created these underground bunkers to, you know, try to help their family survive the apocalypse, man. But it's not gonna help them, man. All right, it's not gonna go as they plan. So let's get some scriptures real quick just to back it up, to back up that they're gonna be a World War III, and then we can end it on out. I'm gonna start here. All right, this is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 9. It says, "For lo, I will rise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations." All right, and great nations it is, man. All right, Russia's one of the superpowers. China's one of the superpowers. All right, North Korea, that's another superpower. They're working on their nuclear capabilities. So these nations, they're gonna assemble themselves, even the nations within the EU. All right, it speaks about how the beast shall hate the whore. All right, so at some point in time, all right, America, Babylon is going to do something to make the nations turn on them. All right, and they're going to assembly themselves. All right, meaning they're going to get their weaponry. All right, these different missiles and whatnot. All right, and shoot it and turn against America. All right, Babylon. And it says, "And they shall set themselves in array against her." It says, from hence she shall be taken. Their arrow shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain." So these scriptures say that when these missiles are shot off from these different silos that are in different parts of the world, and they're shot off, they're going to hit their mark. All right, they're not going to blow up in the sky. All right, they're not going to, you know, be defective and not, you know, hit their mark. All right, they're gonna go and shoot off to what they're designed to do, which is to cause havoc and destruction. All right, that's exactly what's gonna happen. Again, I'm gonna read that latter end. It says, in array against her, from hence she shall be taken. Their arrow shall be as of a mighty expert. None shall return in vain. So as you see in these Olympics, where you see these archers, they be shooting their arrows. All right, they be trying to hit the target. Well, in this case, man, these missiles, when they shot off from these silos, all right, they're going to hit their mark, man. They're not going to be defective. All right, they're not going to be running into one another. All right, one is not going to come halfway across the earth and then, you know, just, you know, be, you know, lose its power and just fall out the sky. Nah. All right, these missiles are going to have the indignation of the Lord. They're actually going to exceed the expectations of the ones that created them, man. All right, these missiles are actually going to break records when they are shot off from the different silos, man. All right, they're going to exceed the expectation of these kings of the earth. They're going to exceed the destruction, all right, and the power, all right, when they're shot off, man. All right, let me get this real quick. This is Jeremiah chapter 51 and 1. "Thus said the Lord, Yahweh, behold, it says, I will rise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them, and rise up against me a destroying wind." And the destroying wind is talking about the missiles. All right, when they're ignited, all right, in the air, all right, that destroying wind that's going to come to, you know, basically, you know, destroy everything within, you know, the radius of that destruction, man. It's going to basically, you know, disintegrate everything. as the scriptures say, you know, these different things are going to burn up with fervent heat, and we're going to grab that. All right. And it says, verse 2, and I will send unto Babylon fanners, and the fanners are speaking about the angels. All right. The angels are basically going to, be behind those missiles, man. The spirit. All right. And it says, that shall fan her and shall empty her land, for the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. All right. And a part of those fanners are not only the missiles, but also the plagues. The scriptures speak about how when the elect are sealed, all right, that the Lord's going to basically release those four winds. All right. And that's the plagues. All right. And it says, empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow. And against him that lifteth himself up in his burgundy. All right. And that's what Esau's basically doing. When you go into that word, it's talking about his defense or his shield. All right. So his defense is going to basically fail him in that day, man. All right. Which he so much, he so proudly boasts himself in. All right. These people so proudly boast themselves in. All right. The military here, it's actually going to fail them. And it says, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts, man. So, the military here is going to get absolutely obliterated, man. All right. Let's see here real quick. This is, let's see here. Isaiah 13:13. It says, therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. So the earth is going to remove out of its place. The scriptures speak about how, the earth is going to move like a drunkard, man, from the power of these missiles being destroyed, man. The power of these missiles, Shalakia, destroying this place, man. All right. It's going to be, man, people are really going to tremble at the sight of this destruction, man. It's going to cause great fear in the earth, man. All right. Like something you have never seen before. Mind you, it's going to be like a time that we've never seen before, as the scriptures say, man. All right. No greater violence and no greater destruction, all right, is going to happen like it's going to happen here, man. So, man, we absolutely need the Lord in these days, man. We cannot survive without his covering and his protection. All right. This is Revelations 11:14. It says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So, man, the third woe is coming, man. It's on its way. We're hearing these rumors of war. Honestly and truthfully, we are in war right now, to be honest. All right, because war takes a process of time to happen. It takes strategy. It takes time and thinking. People just don't, or should I say, nations or kings don't just go to just shooting off missiles, and it starts strategically, with precision. And we see that now, all right? We see that happening in the earth with these different kings, all right? That these tariffs and, this, playing with money and all these things that's going on, man. This is leading up, all right, ultimately to that World War III, man. All right, but we just got to see how the Lord has this thing just fully planned out. Let me get this, all right? This is Psalms 12 and 6. It says, the words of the Lord are pure words, as silver tried in a furnace of earth, purified 7 times, man. So these scriptures, man, they're pure. All right. It's evident that these things are taking place in the earth and that these prophecies are moving in the right direction. All right. All the ducks are lining up, all right, in its place so that these events can happen in the order that the Lord wanted them to happen. All right. And we're just sitting back, all right, watching how the Lord has these things planned out, man. But they are definitely happening. All right. Let's get this last one. I'm going to end it on out. This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. Well, these people not, paying attention to the signs and the times. But the scriptures say the Lord has given, all right, the elect the eyes to where they'll be able to see and the ears to where they'll be able to hear. All right. And it says, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. That in the type of instrument to do that type of damage are the ICBM missiles, man. All right. Like that movie that we always refer to. All right. I believe it's Independence Day. All right. Another, what else? What is the Terminator? All right. When that bomb basically goes off in San Francisco. All right. And it basically destroys the city. So yeah, man, these elements, these trees, these houses, these buildings, the grass, all these things are going to be burnt up. Even us, even us as humans, we're made up of elements, man. All right. And the scriptures speak about that, man, about how their eyes shall consume away in their holes. All right. And their tongue shall consume away in their mouths. All right. That's people being disintegrated by the power, the heat of these missiles, man. Abaratazah, that we are not a part of that judgment, man, but we're a part of the judgment of being, basically acquitted, all right, or delivered, all right, from this destruction. It says, the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought ye to be in all holy conversation? So, your conversation and your deeds, all right, in these times are to focus basically on the scriptures, man. The spirit of prophecy of what's in the news, all right, and staying, physically, spiritually and mentally, all right, tuned in, all right, locked in. And it says, seeing all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of Yahweh, wherein the heavens, being on fire, shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heaven and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. So yeah, man, we're looking for this destruction to happen, man. All right, so basically the Lord can establish his kingdom, man. All right, because when the Lord comes, man, he's coming to, take all the crowns of the earth and, put us back on top, man. Get us out of this freaking hellhole, bruh, of what they so-called is living. When in actuality, we just getting by. But yeah, man, nevertheless, the Lord is definitely on his way. And, World War III is definitely, brewing up, man. All right, these missiles, All right, these different missiles that are created, you know, they weren't made just to be sitting down there in the silos collecting dust, you know, spending all that money on those missiles for absolutely no reason. All right, the Satan II. All right, I believe that missile has over 5 to 10 warheads, you know, and able to destroy a landmass the size of Texas. All right, and another brother was going into how there's another missile called the Poseidon. All right, and basically that missile, it's traveled by, I think, underwater. All right, and you know, it basically explodes, you know, a few hundred miles away from shore, and it causes tsunamis, man. You know, it causes up tsunamis, and to you know, bring destruction on basically these on these different coastlines of America, man. That's another thing that's gonna, you know, gonna be a part of it, you know. So I think I just made the point, Akim. I don't want to be too long-winded or drawn it out. Lord willing, this video was edifying. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations and blessings to the Akim that do this work in truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this video was edifying. Until the next time, Shalom.